absolutely everybody, and this includes you, absolutely everybody deserves to have a legendary love. It doesn't matter your age, your weight, your failures, how many times you've tried and it hasn't worked out. We want to get rid of all of those cobwebs and just anchor you in. I want you to anchor yourself into this present moment right now. Hey, everyone. Welcome to our Legendary Love series. Come on in and welcome yourselves in the chat. Say hello. We're so excited to see everyone here. It's such a beautiful topic, and it is such a beautiful partner, man, husband that I get to do this with. For those of you that are brand new, we're going to share a little bit about our backgrounds. For those of you who've been around for a hot minute, you know that it has been over a decade since Dr. Glenn A. Sisk and myself, Gina DeVee, have done a program together. So we could not be more excited, more thrilled, more enthusiastic that you all are here. So come on in, say hello in the chat. Let us know where you are zooming in from. And just know that you are in a really fantastic spot. We have amazing, excellent content prepared for you. And it's just going to be an outpouring of love from our hearts, from our almost 2 decades of our marriage now. And I have so much to say, but I want to give you all a moment to pop on and say hello and get yourself settled. Definitely get in a place where you can be taking some notes. I know that that's gonna, you can get the recording of this for sure, but I know that you want your own personalized nuggets and notes there for you. All right, so, well, I am just gonna warmly welcome everyone. And I want to start with this. I want to thank you so much for trusting us with your hearts. We do not take this lightly. We know that this is a total honor to have you not only be interested in bettering your life and strengthening your relationship dynamics, but we also know how incredibly defeating this subject can be. And you just made the best decision ever, because this is like transformation HQ here. There isn't anything that we don't transform in our lives, and especially in the realm of relationships. So I know that everything is transformable, and whatever you've got going on, and no matter where you're at in your own relationship journey, you are going to be able to take away exactly what you need to literally manifest the relationship of your dreams and desires. So come on in. I see everyone still pouring in. I want to hold off from delivering this content until everybody gets on in here, so you don't miss out on a thing. All right, so welcome. I love seeing the chat and where everybody is zooming in from. So definitely say hi and let us know. Are you brand new to Divine Living, Gina DeVee and Dr. Glenn A. Sisk, or are you been around the block with us for a little while? Let us know in the chat. You can just type in, first time or been here since 1812, whatever your story is with us. We always love seeing returning people, and we love meeting new people as well. All right, well, with that, I want to officially kick us off and get us started and let you know what you can count on over the next 3 days here with us. So first of all, there's a lot of relationship experts out there. There's a lot of books, podcasts, seminars, all of the things. And so you have signed up for this one. So I want to share with you why you're in really great hands with us. So I am a former psychotherapist. I have a master's degree in clinical psychology. And before I ever got into the transformational coaching space that I've now been in for 20 years, I started out as a marriage therapist. So relationships have always been a love, a passion of mine. And it was my first expertise. The first package I ever sold in coaching was a marriage coaching package. So I am a true witness that it does not matter how long you have been either chronically single and can't attract the love of your life to save your life, or how much you have tried, or how many breaks and damage have taken place in your own long-term relationship, transformation absolutely is available, and that's what we are here for. So the journey that we're going to be on over these next 3 days is going to be profound, and you're going to see Glenn and I have had our own relationship struggles, mostly prior to our current relationship. So we know the tenderness of heart with that. I'm going to turn it over to him for a minute, and then I'll come back and share with you. But being a former psychotherapist, a transformational coach for 20 years, having worked with women in over 100 countries now for 20 years, I have seen it all and witnessed it all, and always have focused on business coaching, but the relationship and life part always enter in. And people have asked us for so many years to do a relationship endeavor, and so here we are. So some people know him as #BabyLove. Other people know him as Dr. Glenn A. Sisk. Why don't you come on and share everyone a little bit about you?
Hey, everybody. Good to be here. Good to see all the people on the site. It's going to be an amazing class. I was a chiropractor for about 25 years and didn't do a whole lot of adjusting of relationships, but took care of people's bodies. But I did have a lot of relationships myself that didn't work out so well. And I learned a lot, especially before, just kind of up to the point that Gina and I met. There was some big transformations that I was going through and learning a lot about why I was having the problems I was having with relationships. I was attracting partners that we just didn't work out. It was, the cultures were clashing. And, it was all, and I'm sure many of you can relate to this, as it was all roses for, about the first 3 or 4 months. And then the cracks started to appear, and then the infighting started to occur. And then it was breakup time for a whole lot of different reasons, which is one of the things that is really important to understand. What's your background? What are the memories of the past? And it starts at a very young age. For me, it started at a very young age. It was a lot of a relationship with my mother that wasn't completely healthy. I was kind of the, twinkle in her eye. Her husband, my dad, was a bit of a tyrant. And, this is the example that I had as growing up, what relationships were about. And they ran rampant through our family. I remember doing a family tree, and I think there was one uncle and aunt that hadn't been divorced. Everyone else had been divorced. Crazy, crazy divorces. A lot of bitterness, a lot of anger. And this was my guide to, here's what relationships are like, and at some level, I knew that it could be different, because I did have some friends and I saw their relationships, their parents' relationships, and they were really cool. And I was like attracted to this, like, this is new. These people are actually showing love to one another. And, whether or not I didn't know them personally, their background, what work they had done, or had they grown up in a family that had great examples of what relationships were about, I don't know. But I do know what it took me to get to the point of finding my queen. And it took a lot of work, took a lot of uncovering what my memories were, and I would, like abandonment issues and, all sorts of issues that many of you have experienced in your past relationships, and they just keep reoccurring. The same people keep showing up, and there's a reason for that. And so in this class, we actually want to teach you how to uncover those traumas and how to uncover those memories, and then work into a vision of the future for what it is that you desire. Do you really know exactly what kind of relationship you desire? Have you actually sat down? And I like to use this example of sitting down with no preoccupation about what you want it to be, but just sit down without any consequences or limitations. What would your perfect relationship look like with your partner? How would you be treated by that partner? How would you treat that partner? And really get focused in on what it is that you desire. You really need to start thinking about more about what you want than what you don't want. You keep going back and saying, I don't want that kind of relationship. And then you don't actually uncover that memory to see what it is so that you stay conscious and don't go back into that, you'll end up with the same partner. It may be a different shade, a different flavor, but it's still going to end up the same way. And I think we all really desire to have just an unbelievable relationship with our partner, and have fun and enjoy one another and bring joy to one another's life. And just today, I've been going through some pretty interesting things lately. And, I was able to sit down with my partner, Gina, and tell her and, actually show her or explain to her the things that I was going through. And she listened, which is what I need. I need someone to listen, not to tell me what I should do, because that's what I do. I tell somebody what they should do. And I've learned from Gina that that's not always the best way as a king. I really need to just be listening and not trying to fix things. So there's lots of experience that we have as a couple, and we're going to be really excited to share these little exercises with you that'll help you get to the other side and bring you to a point where you're ready, willing to have the legendary love of your life come into your life. And it's possible. Transformation absolutely is. Actually, it's a gift. If you actually follow the principles, it's the law. It has to happen. Now, we can't say how long it's going to take. We can't say, anything about that. What we can say is this: it will happen. We've seen it happen. We've seen men come into a woman's life. We've seen partnerships form, and they're beautiful. They're beautiful relationships because they got rid of the old thinking and got into a new vision of themselves and what it is that they desire and what it is they deserve. We all deserve a good relationship in our lives.
Completely. So I want you to anchor in what he has said. Absolutely everybody, and this includes you, absolutely everybody deserves to have a legendary love. It doesn't matter your age, your weight, your failures, how many times you've tried and it hasn't worked out. We want to get rid of all of those cobwebs and just anchor you in. I want you to anchor yourself into this present moment right now, this desire that is in your heart. You would not be here, and everybody else wouldn't be here too, if legendary love was not a foremost desire in your heart. So something that I wrote about in my book, The Audacity to Be Queen, if you haven't read it, pick it up. But I write that there's 3 different schools that people are in. You're either in the school of health, the school of money, or the school of love. And I imagine that if you're here and taking your time and signing up for this training, that you're in the school of love. So I want you to relax, and I want you to have fun, and I want you to just be so open to receive this learning and let yourself be in school. There's a lot of shame-based mentality for all of the schools, I might add, that by the time we're an adult, we should be in better shape, we should have more money or more of our money issues down, and we should know this stuff about love. And what we're going to get into is there's a reason that you are in the place that you're in right now, and it is the perfect spot for you and your destiny. Now we're going to shift all that up, and if you are done with particular patterns, behaviors, lessons, and dynamics, then you are going to graduate and you are going to get these lessons and move on. But I just want you to know it gets to become the easiest part of your life. There's a scripture that says the weak will become strong. And that means the weakest areas of your life get to not just do okay, they get to become the strongest. And I'm going to share with you personally some of these weak areas in my own relationship department. And now, I love to kind of flippantly say he's the easiest part of my life, but it's true because the weak will become strong. So you are in the right spot if you are looking either to call in love in your life or you are looking to transform a relationship that you are already in. All right. So these teachings apply to absolutely both people. So find the spot that's right for you. And then just want to share over the next 3 days. Today, we're going to go in deep on relationship desires and helping you get really clear on those and the depth of, you'll see what's coming, that must occur for you to really, really get clear on that. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about queenly communication and conflict resolution skills. And then the next day we are going to talk about the components of a healthy relationship. So make sure that you join us for all 3 days. And if you're going to want to even more than the 3 days, you're going to have an opportunity to continue on. So just you wait and see. But I want you to know that really, really giving yourself this time over the next remaining 45 minutes or so that we have together, soak this in, because you're going to see light bulb after light bulb after light bulb go off. Okay, so the first piece about manifesting the relationship of your dreams, and whether you're calling in someone you don't know yet or transforming the relationship that you are in. The reason why women are typically in such a struggle with this is because they don't know themselves. We don't know ourselves. You don't know yourself at the level that is necessary for you to attract the vibrational match, like the ideal relationship. And I know this from personal experience, because I was so frustrated. Why am I not meeting my husband? Why can I not find the love of my life? Find the love of my life. I couldn't find a date to save my life. So is anybody, and you can drop it in the chat, there's no shame here, is anyone in camp invisible when it comes to men or relationships or dating or being seen by your husband? Because that was me. Like, I couldn't get anyone's attention to save my life. And it was very embarrassing. It was very hurtful. I felt so much shame around it. I constantly wondered what was wrong with me, what was wrong with me. Because if you would have asked me, am I confident and do I think I deserve love? The answer always would have been yes. But the hardcore evidence was that seemingly that I wasn't worthy of love. But that's not what was going on at all. In the family system that I grew up in, and maybe it's similar to what you grew up in, I wasn't seen. Who I actually was and me for who I am was not seen. Therefore, I never learned to see myself. It wasn't really, Gina, what do you want? It was, Gina, this is how you have to show up, and these are the rules based on society and the church and everybody else's opinions, voices, values got just conditioned into my being, which made who I actually was invisible. And it was very, very frustrating because I kept trying to do all the things. This is way before online dating, but I kept going out and trying to look good and trying to meet people and all of these external things. But the truth was, it wasn't modeled for me to really know myself, be proud of myself, be confident in my preferences, and to see myself. So if that is the camp that you're in, or you feel like you say things 1,000 times and nobody's listening and it's just not landing for anyone, we're going to help you uncover that. But just know that this first step is radically knowing yourself, so that you don't take those past traumas from childhood, etc., into this relationship of your dreams. Maybe you want to expand on this?
So I think a couple of things here is that we're cultivating a self-awareness, and it's painful at times. It is painful and it's scary, like really revealing who you are to yourself and really admitting what you're doing, what past traumas are affecting how you're relating to a potential partner. It's really, really important to get that done first. During this process, you got to love yourself. You're a child of God. You're loved. You're loved so much that you have no idea how much you're loved. You may not even be feeling it. It took me years to feel the love that I feel now. And it's different than the love I feel from Gina, but it's also connected because I was really given a gift of a partner that was my soulmate. I can truly say that is my soulmate. So practice self-compassion and forgiveness. Like really be kind to yourself. Really tell yourself on a daily basis how much you love you. Like I say on a continual basis now, Glenn Arden, I love you. And even when I say it now, my heart just gets filled up. Now I'm not feeling that constriction in my heart. I feel an open heart. And when I have an open heart, then I have connection with mind. And when I have a connection with mind, then I have connection with a different dimension. I said, I'm going to my father's house. I'll see you later. And when I'm in my father's house or my mother's house, however you want to say it, but when I'm in that place, stuff starts happening. And it, like I'll give you an example, like many of you are probably in business or can relate to this, but sometimes it's just really hard, right? Like life just is really hard. You're struggling, you're fighting, you're like really trying to make it happen. And then at some point you let go. Maybe it was just for a moment, maybe it was for a week, but you just let go. You said, you know what? I'm willing to let go and let God. I'm just going to let go. And you know what happened, right? Something came into your life, something amazing. It was a miracle. Oh my God, I can't believe this just happened. Believe it. First step, believe it. Second step, behave it. Third step, become it, right? It's an I am, I can, I will. It's like not what you don't want, but what you do want. I am a beautiful woman, or I am a beautiful partner. I am beautiful. I attract the person in my life that I want to spend my life with, or I want to spend a season with, whatever it is, it doesn't matter, but that will come. But really love yourself, really have compassion for yourself and forgive yourself for whatever has happened in the past. The past is done, it's over. The longer we stay in the past and we live from the past, the more issues we're going to have, right? Chemicals are formed in the body when we're living in the past and make us not feel well and depressed and not happy. It's your right to be happy. It's your right to be joyous. That's what it's about. That we want to be living on this planet dancing, doing our dance, living our life.
So when you are in joy and dancing and living your life, those are examples of seeing yourself and being present. So just identify the areas and the ways in your life, particularly when it comes to relationship, that you feel invisible. So that can look like dating or being in a relationship with a narcissist. That can look like chasing after people, getting super upset when they don't call back or text back, being like thinking that if you pay for dinners and that kind of thing, that's going to get their attention. All of this has you be invisible. And I would know. And so when I was like in my dating time, I was chasing after the local loser rock stars of Detroit. I was going to their gigs. I was looking to see if they texted me back. I was doing all the things that I thought that would get them to notice me. And all it had me do was become way more invisible to myself and them. So I want you to identify the ways that you self-abandon and that you're invisible in relationship dynamic. And then the way to turn that around is to see yourself. I wanted a man to do for me. I didn't have the words for this, but this is what it was. I wanted them to do for me what I wasn't willing or didn't even know that I needed to do for myself. I wanted them to see me. I wanted them to choose me. I wanted them to show up for me when I wasn't seeing me, choosing me, and showing up for me. So whatever you need to do within yourself what Glenn is saying is to love yourself more. I want you to see yourself. So at the end of the day, step one in manifesting a relationship is seeing yourself. Okay. So now step two is once you see yourself, then you get to really know yourself. Right? When you see something, but then like moving in more intimately, moving in more deeply to really know yourself. Now, knowing yourself means listening and trusting what you hear. How many times have you thought, well, this is what I want, but that's too much, or I could never say it out loud, or I could never have that, especially when it comes to relationship. You have got to live by your own values. And one of my best friends always says, who you are always wins. So if you start to diminish and say, that's not that important to me, it's okay, it's fine, overlooking all the red flags, I want you to just shift on out of that. And you're going to open up into far bigger thinking. There's so many types of relationships and ways to do relationship out there. And what's important is you customizing it for you. Glenn and I have an amazing relationship for us, but it's not a cookie cutter approach. Like, we do everything together. We live together, we work together, we travel together, everything. For another relationship that could be a very healthy, awesome, dynamic relationship, this could sound like hell. Like, so many women are like, there's no way I could ever work with my husband. Like that's not what I want. But when you don't make what you want, and I'm not talking about the list, like he's got to be rich and tall and drive this. I'm talking about like what's really, really part of your value system. You're going to start to raise your standards. You're going to start to have more fun in life. You're going to start to know yourself more. So this is when I went from dating trying to date the local loser rock stars of Detroit to saying like, all right, I'm gonna date and marry a rock star. This is when I raised my standards, and I got much clearer the more I knew myself. I wanted 36, black hair, green eyes, house on Lake Como. Like, all right, I'm getting to know myself. I want like this opulent life. I want this like fun and magnetic life. It was a step in the right direction. It's not how the story ended. I'll get there. But I want you to think bigger for yourself and think more highly of yourself and start to create what are the essences of your real non-negotiables. My real non-negotiable was I was unavailable to be ignored or be invisible in a relationship. I was unavailable to be in a financial struggle in relationship. And I started to like make these lists of what I was truly unavailable for. And these were the values that I stood on. So Glenn, you want to share your part about knowing yourself?
I'm glad you gave the complete list. Didn't turn out quite like that, but it turned out better.
That comes in step 3.
I come from love, right? So all I wanted to be loved and to love. You know, I didn't know that. I didn't really have a clear perception. That was the work that I needed to do. And well, I kind of lost my thought there for a minute, but truly once I came to the last relationship, I said, that's it. I'm no good at this. I can't do it. You see the kind of self-talk that's going on? That's what was happening. But in my heart, I already seen Gina DeVee. I saw her in a dream 30 years ago, right? And something just happened, like I couldn't explain it. But things changed. Well, first of all, I changed. Like, I became willing to learn, and I became willing to understand what a woman desired, and when I started to learn that and I started to practice that, it just got better. The relationship got better. I understood that my job was to give, not so much to receive, although I received much by giving, but it was really my job to give. And it was really my job to serve. And I didn't see that as being a, lame little puppy dog on the lap. I saw that as being something which some guy described it to me as being such, and I didn't agree. What I did agree, because what I receive in what I receive from that is the joy of my woman being loved and adored. I mean, that to me gives just a lot of joy. So it's not really complicated for me, I need Gina to do a few things, and I remind her when I'm not getting it. We made some agreements right from the very beginning, and we've kept with those agreements. I don't know, is it a good time to share that right now?
Sure. Sure.
Okay. So one of the agreements was, number one, no bricks in the wall. We're not going to build up these defense systems. So, right. So I'm working from getting out of the memories of the past. Like that would be new for me. Like no arguments without solving them and getting into what it's about and resolving it. So no bricks in the wall. Number two, always on a spiritual path. That's been my life since I was 8 years old. And I knew from past experiences that that was the desire that I had for my partner, to be in pursuit of her spiritual life, whatever that is. And then make sure you let me know I make a difference in your life. Really simple, not complex. And we've had our battles, and we've had they don't last long. We get over them really quick because we're intimate with each other. We share how we're really feeling. And, again, from my past, dude, you don't share what's going on. You hide it. You cover it up. Everything's hunky-dory. There's nothing wrong. Everything's good, right? So the process just kind of happened. I would come to this point and go, well, wow, I'm like loving and being intimate and sharing things that I haven't shared with anybody. And love myself in the process. So this whole idea of cultivating mindfulness and emotional regulation, in other words, becoming aware of where you're at and who you are and what you've been through and where you've been hurt and where you've taken revenge, all forms of emotions, right? To a new state of, this is what I desire. I deserve it. And I will continue on until I have what I desire. And that's what's happened.
So you see, these are great, great examples of being so clear on your values. Like he didn't draw from the past and say, this isn't possible for me. These were his non-negotiables. Mine were that I would be with an empowered masculine man, a king of a man, someone that would be like fun to be with and on the adventure of life with. So if you want to summarize, step one was see yourself. I would say step two is really see your standards and stand in them. You're not too big. You're not too much for your soulmate. Okay. And then step three is you got to recognize for relationship your desire. Now I know this gets thrown out. Be clear on your desires. Be clear on your desires. But when you see yourself and see your standards, then you're going to see the truth of your desires. So my whole thing was, I was looking for that rock star. Trust me. I had vision boards. He was coming in on a yacht to come get me. Like I thought I was so crystal clear, but I didn't recognize that was all society, like imprinting me, like, Gina, this is what would be cool. And this is what would be fun. It wasn't me knowing me. So when I started to just radically know myself and my values and standards for myself, it was like, the truth became so obvious. It was like the veil lifted. I didn't want to be the wife of a rock star. I didn't want to go to someone else's gigs. I didn't want my life to revolve around someone else's career. There's nothing wrong with any of those things. It's just not it's not what was true for my soul. So when I recognized my desires, I realized I wanted a man to support me with my career. I had lit up about my career. I wanted someone to come to my gigs, and I wanted someone's life to like revolve around my God's mission that is in my heart. So when I realized I was trying to marry who I was actually looking to become, I was trying to marry a rock star when I wanted to become a rock star. So I got to channel all that energy that was just going out the drain into who I really am. It was then that I could actually have space for the real vibrational match of who and what I was meant for. And when you see the truth of what your desires really are, we know it's the truth that sets us free. And like that, Glenn showed up in my life. It wasn't complicated. It wasn't a long journey, but it was a very, very in-depth one. I had to pull back the curtains. I had to have the veil raised to really understand all these lists and things that I wanted. I mean, I will admit there was a small moment when I did first meet Glenn that I was like, no way I'm marrying a blonde haired, blue eyed chiropractor from Michigan. Like I had so conditioned myself that what was on the vision board was the thing that I actually desired. Trust me, you turn 50 years old, you want to marry a blonde haired, blue eyed chiropractor from Michigan, especially when you travel a lot. No, I mean, it's like, he's my heart and my soul. What were you saying?
Please. Michigan was nice, but not from there. You know, the other thing that's very clear, right, as Gina's talking here, is that as a result of getting in touch with her true desire, like the rock star was her, not marrying a rock star, then she was able to communicate her boundaries and her needs very effectively. Like, there was no doubt in my mind what this woman wanted, what she desired from a man. I knew. And I was willing and able and coming to that decision on my own also. You know, like, once you know what your desires are, your true desires, who it is you truly, with no consequences or limitations, like who exactly do you desire to be and who do you desire to be with, then you will actually automatically be able to communicate your boundaries, communicate what it is that you desire in an effective, kind, loving way. Not like, you know, how we can be sometimes, you know, well, you're not giving me what I need.
That's more for tomorrow.
Yeah, right. I do digress or egress, but anyway, yeah.
So I want you to take what can feel like this very complicated, maybe feeling defeated in your love and relationship journey. I want you to see how simple God and the universe actually intend for it to be for you. There's nothing complicated about God. Humans complicate things. Universal law is very, very simple. It's not necessarily easy all the time, but it's simple. And your birthright, you know, the thing that was really important to Glenn in the messaging and the communication around this 3-day event that we're doing here is legendary love is your birthright. It is yours. You deserve this. So I want you to let this be simple, and then you'll go, it doesn't, simple isn't easy. You'll go through the layers that you need to go through, but it doesn't need to be complicated. So first, you're going to see yourself. Second, you're going to see your standards. And then that will lead you to seeing your truth. You'll find that when you allow for it to be simple, revelation after revelation will continue to take place. Aha moment, light bulb moment. You're going to, every piece of yourself that you reclaim, every time you see more of you, you are going to have the external experience. You're going to have the physical evidence based on the internal shifts or what you're magnetizing in your life, the way someone's showing up differently, responding differently. And it's not because they've necessarily changed. It's because you have evolved and become more aware of yourself. All right.
Your body changed your life. I got a little, I like to do a couple of things here, just for the next 3 days. First of all, not right now, but later after this is over, whenever you have time, just write down without any consequences or limitations who it is you desire to be and who it is you desire to be with. Just right away. You know, don't think it out. Don't try to come up with something clever. Just let your heart write the words. And then the second thing is get a Post-it note, stick it on your mirror or wherever you go the first thing in the morning, and put 3 words. I am, I can, I will. And those 3 words, every time you think about who you desire to be and who you desire to be with, use those 3 words. They're powerful. And they're because they're I am. And who are you? And who do you want to be? Because that's where you're headed. Exactly where you're headed. 3 days, see how it works out. Let's see we'll look at the chats tomorrow and hey, I know one thing for sure is going to happen. I guarantee you one thing for sure is going to happen. You're going to get a clearer vision on whether you know what you desire or that you don't know what you desire, number one. And number two, by using those three words, I am, I can, I will, you will feel better about yourself. You will have more energy, better energy. Just keep it in I am, I can, I will for the next 3 days when it comes to this subject matter.
The powerful, powerful exercise that he just gave you can be deceivingly simple. So don't miss out on that. What he's sharing with you is putting you in the present. The present means it's already done. So if you are programming yourself for a relationship, I can, I am, I will. So I'll show you how the shift, how it changed for me. So it used to be black eye, green hair, house on Lake Como, all this stuff outside of me. Oh, rock star, all these things that were not my truth and irrelevant. And when I went into I am cherished. I am claimed. I am with a man who's emotionally safe. Like all of the essence of what actually mattered to me according to my truth came in the form of this beautiful human. And so, and believe me, at the beginning, I had to take a leap. I had to stretch myself because I had gotten into, it can't happen for me. That doesn't actually exist. I didn't know anybody who had a marriage that was something that I was going to want to be in. Like it wasn't modeled for me, none of that. I just had this belief in my heart. And if you're here, you do too. It doesn't matter how bad it seems, how much it's not working, how much your heart's been trampled on. You get into I am and whatever the essences are that are connected to your truth. For me, I wanted to be claimed. I wanted a man to claim me. I wanted a man to cherish me. I required that he be emotionally safe with me. Like there were so many core essence pieces that became the non-negotiable, and they also became my reality. All right. So my loves, we're going to do a little bit more, but I just want you to know that this is a journey, and this isn't a bunch of light flipping switches, and it's not like 3 steps to get more famous on TikTok. It's not that. This is a soul evolution and expression. And Glenn and I aren't who we are as individuals and as a couple because of like a snap, crackle, pop. So we're going to do more today and over the next couple of days. But if you know that you are just like, I am here for the journey, I want every drop, morsel, behind the scenes story, all of it, I want to let you know that we are going to be hosting a 7-week course called Legendary Love. And I'm going to take just a couple of moments to share with you what's in the program so you know what you've got to look forward to, not just for these 3 days, but for 7 solid weeks with us. So in our program, I'm going to skip to the weeks of what you're going to get. So here's the roadmap. Week 1, we are going to dive so deep of you being worthy of love. You are going to learn to love yourself as you desire to be loved. Mind blowing. Week 2, unlocking your beliefs about men. You're going to receive the clarity on your roadblocks so you can heal them. Trust. This one's humbling. You're wondering why you don't have the love of your life in. We're going to take a look at what the programming is and get that reprogrammed for you. Week 3, master the masculine and feminine dynamics in relationships. Glenn and I are kind of amazing at this one, I would say. I was so used to being in overdrive in my masculine. And when I met a man who was in his empowered masculine, not domineering tyrant, but empowered masculine, there was no room for my masculine, not in the relationship. So I got to be all feminine. So we're going to talk to you about how that dynamic gets to get created for you. Week 4, your vision of love. Clarity is key. You're going to create the expectations of your desired relationship so that you can confidently manifest it. This area that has you not feeling so confident, you're going to feel and be the confident woman that God created you to be. Week 5, becoming the vibrational match. This is not for the faint of heart, but it's necessary. So if you're like me, you're just like, I will do anything to manifest my dreams. So we're just going to get all that programming out of the way that is not you, so that you can be the vibrational match of what you desire. Week 6 is conditional love. Glenn does not like that I say this. I'm like, I love conditionally, and he doesn't even like to, he thinks that he loves me unconditionally. It's not true. We are very healthy humans. We love conditionally, and it's called boundaries. And so if you, unconditional love is BS, by the way, like that's like, you know, not amongst humans. So we're going to show you how to have some awesome conditions on love.
There's conditional love, which there are some conditions, but there's also unconditional love. We do disagree on this, but it's okay. We can disagree on this because I get what she's saying and she gets what I'm saying. No, yeah. So, you know, sometimes it just has to be unconditional. You know, sometimes you see that pile of whatever that is over there and you go, all right, I love her anyway.
Close. It's called close.
Yeah. So I love it.
All right. And then week 7 is letting love in, getting really great at receiving. So move past romanticizing about your dream love and get great at receiving it. So I just wanted to give you this little heads up. The course is $397, which is the early bird rate. Normally it is $697, or you can do a payment plan, 2 payments of $249. Like I said, the price is going to go up. So I wanted you all to have as much time as possible, and go to divineliving.com/legendary love to get your ticket if you know that that's for you. All right. So in wrapping up today, because I know these are simple concepts, but they're very profound to really take such radical responsibility in. Glenn, what do you want to leave people with in terms of your advice from the empowered masculine about how available this is for everyone and loving yourself?
Oh. Well, here's what I know. You get to create your own life, however you want that to be created. You can create it to be joyful, or you can create it to do it the other way. But you do have a choice. And I choose a choice of having my desired life, having the woman in my life that is fun and adventurous. It doesn't, you know, what I love about what Gina said is like, there's no magic switches, you know, like you just don't snap your fingers and, you know, it appears. Sometimes it does appear that quickly. I mean, I've seen it happen before. It just depends on how committed you are to changing your life. The first thing you have to do is you got to change your mind. You got to see it differently. You have to get out of that. Quit seeing yourself from a memory of the past. See yourself as you would like to be. See yourself as what you desire to be. See yourself as in the relationship that you desire to be. That's the secret sauce. That's really the secret, is seeing yourself in a different way. And then it's, you know, there's a number of ways to say it. I just heard recently, be, do, have is something I've used for a long time. Believe, behave, and become. They're all saying the same thing. Like, you got to change your mind if you're going to change your life. It has to happen. So your mind needs to move from I am, I can, I will, and away from, well, that'll never work, or I've been there before, it just doesn't happen. You know, I mean, there's so many things that we have in the suitcase that we could just need to leave it behind and move forward. But have joy in your life. Love yourself. Have what you do. Yeah.
Have what you what?
Have what you deserve. It's your gift. Your Father gave it to you. You know, the universe is clear about this. You know, make your plans and I will guide your footsteps. That's not just a saying. That's true. That is the honest to God truth. That is the law. It will happen. It can happen. I am.
So obviously in the course, we'll have more time to go. We have, there's 90-minute calls, there's a workbook, there's Facebook groups, there's calls, teaching, there's Q&A, recordings. There's so much in that course that starts July 10th. But what I want you to understand is these concepts will go in deep with. So if you're like, great, I need to know myself, but I don't know how, we're going to be getting into that. I need to see my standards. Like I need to see myself, see my standards, then that will help you with that as well. And then see yourself and see your standards. You will see your truth. Like, trust me, this, when you do the work, it works. Every time you show up for yourself, every time you collect another piece of insight, just like success begets success, knowledge begets knowledge, consciousness begets consciousness. You just like, you're not the same at the beginning of a book and the end of a book. When you really allow yourself to immerse into a higher vibrational way of life, when you let not just information in, but you let it be education and you use that for your transformation, that's where life and relationships change. So to whatever degree you have been sitting on the sidelines, watching other people have the legendary love that you desire, you get to make this summer the summer you put yourself in the game. You put yourself center stage. No more putting everybody else's priorities in front of you. No more hiding out in invisibility. No more thinking love has just passed you by. No more thinking like you can't bear the thought of trying one more time. This is a vortex of love, of peace, of power, and of transformation. And all things are possible. And so, yes, that includes either transforming the relationship you're in or transforming your life so that you attract the love of your life. We're so excited to be here and to be on this journey with you. So again, before we move into tomorrow and tomorrow's topics, I just want to recap this so that you anchor in. What's one way that, fine, your mother, your father didn't, couldn't, or wouldn't see you? What's one thing that you can see about yourself today? What's one thing you can acknowledge and see about you? And drop it in the chat. You know, this is thoughts grow stronger as they are shared. And when you really get one word or phrase that you drop in the chat, it's going to show the universe, and it's going to share with those in the community. Like, I'm here for this. I am not being invisible any longer. I am not playing small. I am not being left out. I'm not saying, well, if it was meant for me, God would have had this happen by now. No, you're showing up for you. So you start by dropping in the chat, what's one thing you're going to see about yourself? And I'm too vain to wear my glasses during these. So I just want you to know my team will send me the chat, and then I'll read this post webinar. What, baby?
I am, I can, I will. I am loved. I am beautiful.
Oh, fine.
Oh, yeah. In her, I'm worthy of love. I deserve.
Oh, these are gorgeous. Yes.
Yeah, all you need to do is all you need to do is just repeat that belief over and over and over and over and over again. Don't let go of it. Keep that belief repeat it over and over and over and over. And guess what? I guarantee you, it will become a reality in your life.
Yes. I've got the chills reading these. Well, from the very beginning, my team will send me the chat, and I will read I always read everyone. I love hearing from you so much. And then one piece about what's one standard that you're going to see for yourself, or stop apologizing for, or raise your standard. Drop it in the chat. We're on a roll. What's one standard in relationship that you're like, you know what? I'm going to stop apologizing. This is actually important to me because it's connected to my value. A standard in the relationship.
Being a priority from Claudia.
Oh, yes. Being a priority. Mutual respect.
Truth. Emotional connection. Good stuff. Yeah. Thanks. I am, I can, I will. You got it, Beatrice. Rock and roll. You get the life that you create. You create your life, and you create your love life too. Live in my power. Awesome.
These are so beautiful, so beautiful. And then the final one piece about your truth. What's either what are you trying to marry that is meant for you to become? Take that take that pressure off him and claim it for yourself. What's one thing that you're noticing that you want in a partner that actually gets to be developed in you? And I want you to go think about that and drop that in the chat as well. What's one thing? What's that?
That's a good one.
It freed me up so then I could actually be present with you in partnership and not need you to take music lessons.
Making a decision. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So what's it something that you've noticed, whether you're looking to attract someone or the relationship that you're in, what are you looking for that other person to do to complete you? When in fact it's who you're meant to become. The way I was looking to date or marry a rock star when I actually desired to become a rock star. Great financial security, interest about my needs, financial provider, right? The ability to be all in and get intimate, who can be supportive to me, right? Like exactly. We're looking for other people when we do it for ourselves. Boom, it cleans up all that energy and it allows you to attract your rightful partner, not the other half of you. You don't want to go into a relationship as a half. You want to go into the relationship as the whole person that God created you to be. All right.
And knowing yourself is huge. Really, truly knowing who you are is the beginning, because then nothing can be stopped when you know who you. Yeah, beautiful.
So you're going to know yourself a lot more if you take this 7-week journey with us. It starts July 10th, and all the details are on the page, divineliving.com/legendary love. So I just wanted to give you all a sneak peek so that you have the most time of anyone to get in on that early bird pricing and special. But otherwise, everyone, thank you so much for being here. It's such an honor to see women globally who haven't given up on their dreams, who are showing up for their desire for deep and long-lasting love. If you want to drop one more thing there in the chat, what's the one thing you're taking away from today before we see you tomorrow? What's your biggest nugget, aha, insight, like lesson? What are you walking away with from our time together today? Glenn will even read the chat as well. We love hearing from you. We really do customize and custom tailor. So we want to see what you got out of today. And we'll take all of that into account for tomorrow, where we get into queenly communication and healthy confrontation skills. So tomorrow we've got some great content for you as well. But finish off with, what did you get out of today? And we want to thank you again so much for being here. It's an honor for us to have done the work on ourselves and our relationship, that we can share and be a light in someone else's life. So that's what we do with our skills. Remember when we were talking about doing this course, Glenn said, well, we are pretty good at relationship. I guess we should, finally honor these requests that have been coming in throughout the years, and let's go teach what you live on a daily basis. So that's what we're doing here. All right.
It's been an honor. And I love being here with you all. And I also love us sharing our journey with you. And then you get to take what works for you and put it in your house and then create your own experience. All right. So God bless. Love always.
All right, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Lots of love, everyone. Thanks again for being here. Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my goodness, how much did you love this conversation? Please go ahead and take a screenshot of this episode right now. And I want you to tag me on Instagram and share with me what your biggest takeaway was. I love being in conversation with you, hearing from you, DM me. And I really love getting, what is the one big takeaway that you got from this episode? Let me know on Instagram.